I'm Andy. I teach mythology and folklore. Welcome to Tantalizing Myths. The next work in our myth library is not a book. Instead, I'm going to recommend a website. The Theoi Project, link in the description, is a free, searchable online database of Greek mythology through art and literature, and it has a nice table of contents on the left side. Not only does it have an impressive collection of the art and literature, they've created encyclopedia entries for nearly everything that give a good overview of mythological figures and their artistic representations. The first part of the entries all feature the Greek spelling, a transliteration of the name, and the Latin spelling, not to be confused with the Roman name, which is often how we spell and say it in English. The encyclopedia entries themselves are good, but they are modern summaries written by passionate enthusiasts instead of scholars with a background in translation, so the stories can begin to drift a little. Again, these are good overview, but the real value is in the sections below these summaries. Every mythological figure has a family tree detailing the parents and children. These are all hyperlinked to their respective pages, making it very easy for a person to go deep into the rabbit hole and spend way too much time on the site. Yeah, I've been guilty of that. But what do you expect from a mythology nerd? The family tree is nice, and relevant artwork from the period helps with visualization how these people conceived their myths. But to me, the true value is in the classical literature quotes section. While the overviews are written by project staff, they're assembled from the classical literature. The classical literature quotes section shows us the actual literature sources, even providing bibliographic information about translators and publication years. Not only does this make it possible to follow up, the Theoi Project has copies of most of these works as they're in the public domain. This brings us to the bad stuff. First, the public domain works are, well, old. A lot of newer, more accurate translations aren't reflected here. While it keeps the cost down, translations that are over 100 years old miss out on a lot of academic advancements. I'm not just talking about translations, but the archaeology and history that has been uncovered. Next, the classical literature quotes are not hyperlinked. While you can read the snippet on the entry page, you can't click through to get to the greater work. A separate sources section is found at the bottom with hyperlinks, but being able to click through at the actual passages would definitely be more helpful. That said, for the low cost of free, this is a great resource for Greek mythology. Pointing to the classical literature is great because it gives us a way to follow up, even with newer translations after having located the relevant passages from the website. I find it an invaluable resource. If you've ever had a question about Greek mythology, definitely check out the Theoi Project to start your search for answers. I hope you find it to be a great resource like I have, but don't blame me if you spend hours on the site though. See you next time on Tantalizing Myths.